Since 2004, Adult Swim has been pulling an April Fool's joke every year on the 1st of April, of course, and many look forward to each one every year. However, despite the popularity of the events, there's surprisingly a lack of footage that's easily available for several years. This is most especially noticeable in 2004, which was the first year they did one, and surprisingly in 2013, which came at a pretty much modern point where everything's being recorded for the sake of preserving and being uploaded online. So, having a curious insight to all of these jokes and wanting to see them, I took a look around for a while and noticed how much was missing and decided to make a video on what I could find and what I couldn't find. And before doing this, I decided to ask for help on the subreddit, and they really helped out a lot with my posts there. They helped me find a lot of things that I originally thought were missing, so a big shout out to them, and definitely check out that place if you can. And some other points to go through before I start this all out is that I'm going to be going through each year as if you already know what each joke is. I'm just going to be talking about which media is easily available and what's considered lost media. So make sure you just know what each joke is first before I head on. You can easily find them out on the Adult Swim Wikia, or checking out a video by Reveal Your Life on here, which also goes over them in video form, and I also got some shots from that video too, so that also helped out. And I will also be going over a system with green checks, red X's, and yellow circles. It should be self-explanatory. Green check means that basically all footage is available and easily accessible. A red X means that it's missing, and a yellow circle implies that it's out there somewhere, but it's just difficult to come by. And sometimes you'll see a combination of both where one's greater than the other. And the final thing is that while I did do a good amount of research and looking around, I obviously can't just go looking around everywhere upon days and weeks and onward. I just simply can't. So if something is missing, or I say it's missing and it's not, and you can find it, please do let me know and I'll help out too. Thank you. Now with that, let's get on. 2004, the screenshots of Futurama with the mustaches are available. You can find them on here or on the Wikia or even TV Tropes easily. However, aside from that, there seems to be nothing else aside from like a couple of other screenshots from the other shows. Apparently, the full episode of the Futurama airing was up somewhere, but it's not easily findable, and I couldn't find where from what I heard on the subreddit. For 2005, the full pilot is apparently up somewhere, but I cannot find that either. And aside from that, I've only been able to see one screenshot, which you see here. 2006, there's some footage on YouTube of the Full Metal Alchemist episode with the farting. The one for Ghost in the Shell seems to be fully missing entirely, cannot be found. And as for the 80s shows that were aired that night, you can just find those elsewhere. Having a bad start from there, 2007 luckily takes a turn, where the Perfect Hair Forever episode that was aired is up online. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, apparently the full airing has been on and off again online, so you could find it somewhere if you look well enough. It's not too easily available, but it keeps on going up somewhere. But aside from that, some bumpers are up and easily viewable. 2008 takes a slight dive downward, whereas some bumpers are up and ready to see, but the sneak peeks that were shown that night cannot be found. 2009 starts the years where they start airing The Room. This just started out with a normal version of it, aside from the sex scenes being censored with a black box covering Tommy Wiseau's dick. And you can see a screenshot of that black box. And aside from that, the rest is just simply The Room. So if you ask me, just having this screenshot is enough to go off of. 2010 added that again, but there were bumpers in between with Tommy Wiseau and Space Ghost in an interview with him. And surprisingly, as amazing as that sounds, it's hard to find, and I cannot find a lot of the footage, only some pieces here and there, so missing some of the Space Ghost is an issue for this year in terms of lost media. 2011, the last year that had a normal airing of The Room. It also had a strange CGI episode of Low Country Pilots, and that episode can be found on the Adult Swim website through the Space Ghost tab. Aside from that, it was just a normal airing of The Room that I can't find, but apparently it's been uploaded somewhere online. The full year's been archived from what I heard on the subreddit, which is okay either way. It's the Low Country that's truly unique for that. For 2012, which was a big loved one, it seems that all of the bumpers have been preserved, just about all of them. You can easily find them right here on YouTube, which is really great because a lot of people say it's the best year for a reason, and that it may be their best joke ever. That beginning still gives me chills. And 2012 also basically started the modern part where people are like recording everything and can easily access it. But despite that, 2013 kind of takes the surprising downward where you can easily find the bumpers up and available on YouTube. But surprisingly, there appears to be no footage of the shows that were aired that night anywhere of the cat heads, aside from like a screenshot here or there that you could dig up. So yeah, that's a bit of an odd stick out. For 2014, however, just about everything seems to be up and easily available. The Perfect Hair Forever episode, which of course was just a normal airing of an still yet unaired episode that you can easily see now. And the Space Ghost bumpers seem to be up also, just about everything is. Though for 2015, there's only some screenshots and some footage that are easily up. Other things seem to be chunks that are missing off that airing scheduled night, which is a bit okay if you ask me, because it was one of their weakest jokes, in my opinion. Some people think that's the reason why 2013 is missing some footage, but I digress. It's important that we find these anyways. For 2016, everything seems to be up, all of the bumpers that night that were leading up to the joke, which ended up being nothing as the joke since they're hyping it up so much. Those can be easily found on YouTube. As for 2017 though, it seems that only chunks and bits here and there are up and easily accessible. The full run was supposedly archived somewhere, but it's either hard to find or I can't access it. Which is a bit of a shame. It's good that we have chunks, but not the full thing. Like, there's part of the Joker gag that was on there, and I just remember seeing that night, like, half awake, and barely able to understand what the Joker was saying while I was shitting on Batman, and just thinking it was hilarious with my tired brain. But anyway, aside from that, you, of course, can find the episode of Rick and Morty that kept on airing on repeat later that night just about anywhere. It's just the normal Season 3 premiere. As for 2018, basically all of the bumpers have been uploaded easily for that one. On YouTube you can find them. And aside from that, the Japanese versions of the shows and the movie that they aired that night you can just find elsewhere, which is good because that was a pretty cool year if you ask me. As for 2019, they of course just aired The One Thing, and that's easily up. You can most likely just find it officially through Adult Swim. And then finally 2020, which is the latest as of now, all of the bumpers have been preserved. They were immediately available, like right after that night. And then of course the new episodes of the shows that they air that night you can just easily find. So yeah, that about does it for all of that. As you can see, while the later years do pretty good, there's still some chunks missing, and then some of the earlier stuff just appears to be entirely lost media, no matter where I asked from. So it would be cool if some of that could be found, and if any of you watching this have anything to say about it, or if you know where you can find something, then do let us know in the comment section, because that'll be a really big help, and thank you.